cares about. When I was in high school, there was a dude there who his mom was like a pretty major country star. Okay. So he ended up getting, I forgot about this story until right now, but he ended up getting a speeding ticket on his driveway. That's how long his driveway was. It was another damn street with its own speed limit, and there was a police officer just sitting out there and gave him a ticket. And looking back on it, it had to be at the behest of his parents, where they were like, hey, listen, we got this child who's flying up and down this driveway. Can you give him a ticket and slow him down for us? Had to have been. Either way it goes. I'm pretty sure he moved from somewhere in the Midwest, North. Hockey was a thing. Okay. Or is a thing up there. Okay. He comes down and we don't have a hockey team, and there's no hockey teams in Nashville. And he fights to make a hockey team at the school and gets a hockey league going. And I think that's the league. We should build a time machine, send Collinsworth back in time, let him practice on high school Tennessee hockey games. That's where he should go.
I was very confused where this was coming to.
It's a long way to get there, Jessica, but we got there at the end.
We got it.
What was the song?
The song was Yearn 101.
Who?
By Schoolboy Q.
What?
Off his last album. Yearn 101. Yeern, if you need the spelling. It's a good song.
All right.
Yeah. I liked that album. Blue Lips.
I never listened to it. I used
to
like Schoolboy Q.
I have a couple songs from that album.
I like Schoolboy Q's older stuff. I remember thinking Q was gonna be like that guy.
Yeah.
Oh well.
I have to be honest.
What?
It was my second song of the day. My first song was one of the Victoria Monet Christmas songs, and I just immediately skipped past it because it's May 6th. And I just couldn't do it, and I couldn't grapple with it, but I have to be honest.
Why do you have Victoria Monet's Christmas songs?
It was a great Christmas album.
Okay.
It's like all her songs instrumentally mashed with Christmas carols.
Oh, gosh. All right.
See, I didn't want to have this conversation.
Oh, well, you shouldn't have started it.
I know, but I have to be honest through my game.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
I do.
No, nobody is honest. We're all running around here lying.
Not I.
Not you? You
You
sure?
look so nice today.
Oh, okay. Another lie.
Truth.
Another lie.
Nothing but the truth.
Those are your lashes?
No.
Hair color?
No.
You're lying to me right now, then. Just looking at you is a lie.
Wow! What's up, everybody? It is Tuesday, May 6th. It is going to be a good day. Jessica Benson with you from the Grind City Media Studios in Memphis, Tennessee. CJ Hurt behind the glass coming up on today's show. What a night of NBA playoff action. Another Aaron Gordon buzzer beater. The Knicks come back down 20. All the road teams have won their first games of the conference semifinals. We will get into all of it. Mike Wallace will join us about 20 minutes in. We'll get his thoughts on the games thus far, on the Grizzlies hiring Tuomas Iisalo, making it official on what the next thing on the offseason checklist is for the Grizzlies. Then we'll continue the NBA conversation, take a look at the games coming up tonight. Also, last night was the Met Gala. It was a very sporty Met Gala, lots of athletes, and it is time to play my favorite game. Can CJ identify the jobs of rich people in couture? Bonus points if he knows who they actually are. Couture. Fancy clothes.
Okay.
We'll end with a little TV Tuesday. I have to talk to somebody about the rehearsal. Episode 3 was insane. We'll get into what we're watching. It is a Tuesday. You know what we say. Yabba dabba doo.
Why that?
I don't know. I'm trying to actually come with things to say, CJ.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Bain drives.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Close. He hits and the Grizzlies have the lead.
Yeah!
Jared with a knockaway.
Good defense.
Durant attacking, spinning, hanging, and hitting.
Let's go! Let's go!
Double your chances to win all month long in March with 2 big promotions. On Fridays, embrace the madness and win a share of $150,000 in cash and free play. On Saturdays, starting March 8th, go for the gold and win your share of up to $10,000 in cash and free play in the 80K Fool's Gold giveaway. Enjoy live entertainment all month long and play for your chance to win big in March only at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 or up. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
The other thing that came out this week that we were talking about innovation and Nike and all that, they dropped these $900 hyper boots that
900.
I mean, they're a recovery shoe apparently that you wear after sports, whatever.
Who's buying it? Because all the athletes that we see, they're going to get seated this. So who's going to actually pay $900 for this?
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
I thought Penny was smart to handle this the way he handled it. He expressed frustration with the system, the chaotic nature of it. The price hike on eggs ain't got nothing on the price hike on basketball players. The same dude who cost you $150,000 last summer is costing you $500,000 right now. I understand his sentiment, but he stopped well short of criticizing PJ Haggerty.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
Who's going to be the tougher team that rebounds and prevents second-chance opportunities?
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
City Media presents The Jessica Benson Show with CJ Hurt. Live from the Grind City Media Studios on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
What's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Last night was the epitome of it paying off to stay up way past your bedtime because it was 11:30 p.m. Central Time when Aaron Gordon popped in the game-winning 3 for the Denver Nuggets. I'm a little tired this morning. I assume other people who stayed up were a little tired, but if you didn't stay up, this is how it ended for the Nuggets. Christian Brown, another rebound. Russell Westbrook, of course he makes the pass, and Aaron Gordon, of course he has his second buzzer beater of this postseason. Game winner of this postseason. You're right. It is not a buzzer beater. Thank you for the technicality call. There were still seconds on the clock, but it is still Aaron Gordon, and it is still the Denver Nuggets. And coming off of the Knicks-Celtics game from earlier in the evening where the Knicks steal one in Boston, you had both road teams winning last night. That means all 3 road teams who have played thus far in the conference semifinals have won, which means all the series have begun. We don't have to wait. They've all started because the home team has lost. Nuggets beat the Thunder 121-119. I did not know that my petty side would activate in the way that it did watching the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Choklahoma City Thunder, excuse me. That's what we're calling them this morning. Choklahoma City. It did feel pretty good watching them lose in baffling fashion. And as I said yesterday, I really did believe that Game 1 was a scheduled loss for the Nuggets, just based on the sheer fact of what the 7-game series against the Clippers looked like, having to play Game 7 on Saturday, turning around playing Game 1 against the Oklahoma City Thunder, who have just been resting their little booties off at home on Monday. And so I'm watching the game, and outside of the pettiness that I feel watching the Thunder lose, also my hometown pride starts to rise. It's that time of year where, yeah, you betcha, I'm a massive fan of the Denver Nuggets. Born and raised fan of the Denver Nuggets. Yeah, you are. And I'm watching the game and I'm like, and I refuse to go to sleep because That's my team. My team is playing. And they keep cutting it back to single digits, and then they go back down double digits. And so, like, midway through the fourth quarter, I think they're down 13 again. And I find myself thinking, well, I'm just really proud of the effort from the Nuggets. Like, they're going to lose, but by God, did they put up a good fight? And Nikola Jokic is probably going to put up 40 and 20 again in a loss, and I can't believe that, but he's incredible to watch. I'm watching Christian Brown get every rebound possible. I'm watching Russell Westbrook continue to be the spark plug. Aaron Gordon doing a little bit of everything. Jamal Murray showing up. You know what? There's a lot of good to take from this game. I'll be pleased with it. And then they won. Aaron Gordon could barely talk after he made that shot after the game. I could barely believe what I had just witnessed. One, the complete malfunctioning of the Oklahoma City Thunder and the coaching of Mark Dagnall and the decision to, I get it, foul up 3, but you don't do it with 11 seconds left in the game and Nikola Jokic is on the bench.
Let some time run off the clock.
Just a little bit. And recognize that they don't have a timeout. Like, the Nuggets did not have a timeout to get Jokic back in the game. That situational awareness was just, you're like, what is happening? And speaking of, Choklahoma as a team, but Chet Holmgren missing those free throws. Like, fact of the matter, he choked. Like, he let it go down the stretch. And ultimately, the Nuggets get a game. And I have to sit here and applaud CJ for his belief in my hometown team when I didn't necessarily believe in them. And I know it is just one game, but it is the kind of game where the Thunder will have to come back and prove, like, that does not represent us. That was the fear for the Thunder going into this playoffs. Experience matters. This Nuggets team is battle-tested. Many of these players have won a championship with the Denver Nuggets. And I thought you saw exactly what was anticipated by a incredibly dominant regular season Thunder team who could not keep it together down the stretch of that game last night.
I don't want to get too high or too low on this. I did say Nuggets in 6. So I'm not trying to get too hyperbolic with the assessment of game 1 because adjustments get made. The Thunder are without a doubt a really, really good team. The things that I have questions about, though, I had those questions last year around this time, and I don't think they did enough to address them in the offseason. It's great bringing in Alex Caruso. I think bringing in Hartenstein sort of helps with the questions that I had last year, and that I feel like we all had last year around this time with the Thunder, which was, hey, are they going to get bigger? Because if they can't get bigger, they're going to be in trouble. Not just, and big means both tall and wide. Chet Holmgren is being introduced to grown man basketball in a way that you don't really get introduced to it in the regular season because you're not playing a team like the Nuggets every single game. You'll play the Nuggets, and then you might play the Warriors who want to play you a bit smaller. You'll play the Grizzlies who are a bit more finesse. You'll play the Knicks who want to get into you and play big boy basketball, right? So you're not playing them all of the time. You're playing them in spurts and in moments. In a 7-game series, this is it. This is the only team you're playing. Aaron Gordon had a dunk, and the sheer velocity of the dunk just threw Chet Holmgren across the court. Too often with Chet, and I'll talk about the other players, he's getting moved away from where he wants to do. Still hit a bunch of big threes. That three in the corner later in the game to I think, take the lead back up to double digits. Like, that's what you want from Chet Holmgren, and he was great putting the ball on the floor, going by people as well. But when it's all said and done, all the Nuggets did was lean on them like a heavyweight fight where one boxer is bigger and has the longer reach, and it's like, I'm just going to lean on you, get you tired, and then boom, I'm going to make my push late. Lou Dort, tremendous defender. Lou Dort is your height. Like, what are we doing out here? Why is he so... He's able to because he's tenacious. He's like a little Tasmanian devil out there. He's ferocious. He's tenacious. You put that ball on the ground, he's going to come and get it. He's so quick. He's so physical, getting up into players. Well, on switches, you're switching them on to Jokic. And I got news for you. Jokic ain't Jaren. Jokic sees that and is like, oh, okay, I can move him without fouling, and I can get whatever I want to. Also, if I can't, and if he's being a little pest, a little twerp underneath me, just an elbow to the back of his dome to remind him, hey, I'm bigger than you. Stop it. Was it a flagrant? Yeah, tech, yeah. But you got to send that message. Let them know, hey, you're not going to get up in this space and not come away with some type of bump, bruise, knockdown. right? So you got that going on as well. And when they go to the bench, what size is coming off of that bench to help them? There's not size.
And Jokic handles, yes, Alex Caruso. If the Thunder won, we'd be talking extensively about Alex Caruso. And he was everywhere. And he even comes up with a block on Jokic. And, we saw what he does as a guard defender who can basically defend every position on the court because he scraps and he comes from places that you don't see him.
He shouldn't be able to defend every position on the court.
And the Grizzlies made him look like he could defend every
position. Well, no, he can absolutely guard. He can absolutely guard everybody on this team. He shouldn't be able to guard everybody though. He is another one that
he is.
It is another tenacious defender. But when you're playing the Nuggets with the IQ, not only that Jokic has, but Aaron Gordon has this understanding. Murray has this understanding. Murray is smaller, but he does have this understanding. Michael Porter Jr. has this understanding. Russell Westbrook has this understanding, whereas, hey, this dude is significantly smaller than these dudes over here. Hell, throw him the ball and let him get downhill and try and make a play at the rim. And let's see what happens. And the Nuggets have tremendous finishers all over the court, and they have tremendous playmakers all over the court, and they have high IQ hoopers all over the court. And that's going to punish teams that are the size of the Thunder, teams that lack the size that the Thunder lack. That's why I had the Nuggets in 6, not because the Thunder are bad. I just think right now they're not constructed in a way to be able to handle what the Nuggets can throw out.
Yeah, and it's from a defensive standpoint, because that was the big question. Will this historically great defense hold up in the postseason where the style of the game changes? For me, more quizzically coming out of game 1, or the bigger concern is who scores down the stretch. They didn't score the last 3 minutes of the game. And I get it, a part of that is Chet missing free throws, but who's generating offense for them? That's where in a game like last night, and this was an inevitable factor of this series, and it will continue to be one of the most spotlit storylines through this series, is the MVP battle between Nikola Jokic and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander very much is expected to win MVP. But last night's Nikola Jokic performance was, for me, just another slap in the face reminder that, one, he is the greatest player in the world right now. 2, I don't think it's hyperbolic to say when all is said and done, we will be talking about Nikola Jokic as one of the greatest players that we ever witnessed to play basketball. I know we do this. We always grasp to the hyperbole. We try to go too far, too fast. But you just watch him perform because he's playing a style that is not sexy. He just gets it done. And next thing you know, you're like, holy hell, how did Nikola Jokic have 42 points, 22 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 blocks?
Do your voice. Do your Jokic.
Okay, I go win basketball game.
Jokic, they're doubling you.
Okay, I score.
Jokic,
you want to pass? No. I can do this.
That's just Jokic.
It's just Jokic. I say that with all the affection in the world. I love watching him play. And this was my issue with I struggled, and I don't have an MVP vote, so who cares? I work for a team. But I would have sincerely struggled to pick between SGA and Nikola Jokic because for me, I understand the fatigue factor gets there, but as long as Nikola Jokic is playing at the rate of things that we have never seen before, he should win every MVP until he stops playing.
Sure. Yes. Somebody who, if I had a vote, would have gone to SGA. I would like to point out, if that shot doesn't go in, if Chet makes those free throws, we are coming in here slobbering over 33, 10, and 8. 33, 10, 8, 2, and 1, right?
I don't think we're slobbering
we're
over it.
We're slobbering over what SGA did.
But watching the game, did it feel like SGA took over that game?
Did it feel like he took over the game?
I was surprised looking at the box score.
No, it didn't feel like he took over that game, but it felt like he did enough for his team to come out winners.
And if they had won.
And if they had won, that's how we would have talked about it. It would have been, hey, Jokic had this great game, and so did SGA. Let me be clear. I want to be crystal clear on this. Jokic is phenomenal. SGA is terrific.
Yes.
All right. So
this is just the inevitability of sports conversation.
I don't want to badmouth one trying to make the point in the case for the other one. But 33, 10, and 8 plus 2 steals,
that's where I'm not bad-mouthing the one. I'm just
really
pointing
impressive.
out the exceptionalism of the other.
And what I'm pointing out is the history books favor the winners.
Yes.
And so because they won, we can fawn over and slobber over Jokic in a way that we can't do with
if
SGA.
they lose, we're talking about the Nuggets from some. How do they keep wasting these Jokic performances?
And because it's a regular season award, because SGA's team won significantly more than the Nuggets this season, I think that when we look at the history books, we should reward that player who also has incredible stats on the season too. So they both got incredible stats. One has significantly more team success than the other one.
The best player on one of the most efficient regular season teams that we have ever seen.
Only been
68 wins.
7 teams to win 68 or more games? Only?
Yes.
And, well, now listen, I went back and looked. Only 3 of those teams, it's 3 and 3. 3 teams have MVPs in those years. I'd argue that the second Bulls team to win 68 plus games should have had the MVP, but that went to Karl Malone. So Jordan did it with the Bulls. Who else is it? Steph, the 2015-2016 Warriors. And then somebody on the Celtics in the way back. I can't remember who it was on the Celtics, but somebody on the Celtics in the way back. Like 75 or something ridiculous like that. So those are the 3 players who got MVPs the year their team won 68 or more games. And then, so it's only happened 6 times before this season. The other 3 teams didn't get the MVPs. So, like, it's not, I'm not saying that to say it's a lock that he gets an MVP, but I do think that should be rewarded. When you're looking around and you're trying to decipher between, hey, what's more impressive, 40 and 20 or 33, 10 and 8? When you're trying to decipher between that type of stuff, you look at the overall team success as sort of a tiebreaker. And if it's significantly more than the other team, that's the player who's the MVP.
But I will say, like, and again, this is prisoner of the moment type stuff. I picked Thunder in 6. I'd still feel confident with that. It's one game. Now, granted, like, the pressure gets put on the home team that just lost a game inexplicably to come back and respond to getting punched in the mouth. That's a part of the growing process of being a true contender, of proving the doubters who have said that this Thunder team would flame out in the postseason wrong. Like, that's what's next ahead of them. But in a universe where the Nuggets do win this series, and if there is, this is like real pie in the sky, far too down the road. Like, if they were to make it to the NBA Finals, it's real easy to look at just how incredible Jokic is. He is the clear best player on that team. And others have risen to get the Nuggets past that first round against the Clippers. The play of Russell Westbrook, he's everywhere. Like, Russell Westbrook turning into the off-the-bench spark. And inevitably, there will probably be a game where we are looking at Russell Westbrook losing them the game.
If they had a loss, we would have been talking about Russell differently.
We would have
he
had missed a 3.
He had missed a 3. He had a couple of turnovers late as well. None of that matters to Russ, though. No. He's a bat out of hell no matter what.
And he seems to just be in a really good place with that, too. He got the standing ovation coming back into OKC, which was cool to see. I meant to send it, but like his pregame outfit, because he couldn't be at the Met Gala last night, he is a yearly best dressed in the athletes in attendance at the Met Gala, and he wasn't there, but he had his look going into the game. Anyway, it's been fun.
Who's the rookie off the bench? The long, lanky rookie.
Why do I always think of this? No. I have it in front of me. Peyton Watson.
There we go.
I always just call him Peyton. It feels like a very Denver thing. Like, it's just Peyton. Peyton. Yeah, he played 15 minutes.
He's a rookie, right?
Yep.
That's a good role.
Is he a second-year player?
Whatever he is, that's a good role for a young player to be in. Hey, just come in and play hard and then sit down. We don't need you to give us too much production. We just don't need you to let go of the rope.
He's way more than a rookie. He was on the championship team.
Was he?
Yeah, he was drafted, not drafted, but he came into the league in 2022 with the Nuggets.
Oh, you say way more than rookie. That's year 3?
30th pick, first round.
Year 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's a role for those types of players.
Guy.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. Anyway, we'll see how the Thunder respond. We do have to get into the other game from last night. We'll do that with Mike Wallace. The Knicks beat the Celtics. The Celtics missed 45 threes. 45 of them.
Didn't we know that was
45?
We knew that was possible
45.
with them.
4-5.
We knew that was possible. We had seen them miss a bunch of threes in the regular season.
Not that many.
No, well, hell no, not 45. But
not 45.
I feel like we've seen them miss
15 of 60.
Yeah, that's what they do. They just come down and jack it up, man.
Screaming at the TV. Drive!
Stop jacking it.
Drive!
Get to the hole.
Jason Tatum. Jalen Brunson is on you.
Finish
No,
at the
step
rim.
back three. Ooh, missed
Just
another one.
Keep jacking it. All right.
We'll talk with Mike Wallace about the Celtics losing to the Knicks. Knicks come back 20 to win their game. We'll also catch up with Mike about all the Grizzlies happenings when we come back.
Going to
Let's
do
do
our,
it.
our pick six favorite Outkast songs in honor of Outkast being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Elevators is the most creative.
Me and you.
Yes. Your mama and your cousin too.
And I can't. Every time I hear somebody say me
Sitting
and
on
you,
a-
I just
You just go to the next one, right?
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Shinedown. Dance Kid Dance Tour. Live in Memphis. FedEx Forum, Saturday, August 30th. With special guests, Bush and Morgan Wade. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Shinedown, live in concert. For more, visit shinedown.com.
I got some Cam Ward news for you, by the way.
Let me hear it.
You talk about being able to sell some jerseys. 7 minutes ago at his introductory press conference in Nashville, Warren Moon walks in. I give you permission to wear number 1.
Oh, wow.
He hands him the number 1 jersey.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm going to give you permission to wear number 1. So he's going to have the number 1 Cam Ward jersey.
That's amazing.
We rocking the Cam Ward number 1 Titans jersey.
That's amazing.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
This week, we're going to run down the hits and the misses from WrestleMania 41.
The main event, NXT title on the line, Obafemi versus Trick Williams versus Javon Evans. One of the greatest triple threat matches I've ever seen in my life.
I'm shocked.
And it made history because it's the first time there's 3 black men highlighting a NXT pay-per-view.
Okay.
That was dope too.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
How about Mr. Irrelevant coming from the Memphis Tigers? Yeah, how about that? New England Patriots
Second
took
time.
Memphis defensive back Kobe Minor with the 257th overall pick.
If you're the player getting drafted at that spot, it's almost better to go undrafted and pick a place as an undrafted free agent to sign
Yes.
with where you have a better chance
But
of
you get a lot
sticking.
of stuff. You get a parade. I think you
do?
go to Disneyland, I believe.
Mr. Relevant goes to Disney?
I think so.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
We talked a little bit about Jalen Wells. Jalen Wells, man, he finished 3rd in the balloting for NBA Rookie of the Year. He's going to be back. He's going to play in Summer League, and maybe he'll shoot some left-handed jumpers out there. Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizby, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back. It is Tuesday. That means it's time to catch up with Mike Wallace, senior editor at Grind City Media. And Mike, as we come to you, I think the Celtics just missed another 3 to start the morning. They're still missing. They're still taking them though, and I bet they take another 50 plus in their next game.
Seriously. At what point do you decide, hey, I'm just not going to take threes
They
anymore?
don't.
Well, I'm saying you.
Oh, me?
As a coach, at what point?
Moi?
At what point your team misses a X amount of threes? You say, hey, stop it, just quit it.
Nah, they're going to die on that 3-point hill. No matter.
Not the arrogant Celtics.
I know they're going to die on it.
A normal, regular, schmegular basketball team.
You as a coach, Mike Wallace, at what point your team misses X amount of threes? You say, hey, guys, we got to stop.
I see. That's the thing. Me as a coach, once you line up for that philosophy, you got to ride it through, right? Me as a player, how many, where does my conscience kick in where I say, dang, man, I'm 2 for 12 from 3. Do I keep taking, 5 more? Yeah, I'm not the kind of player that would just continue to jack threes. I would have to do something else. But if the offense is set up for me to take those open shots, chances are if I'm not taking them, I'm gonna get yanked out of the game. So it's hard, man. It's a hard thing when you commit to it. Now, having said that, that same system got them up by 20, even though they were missing a lot of threes. They were up by 20 midway through the third quarter. That should be a recipe for you to win a game, whether you're at home or on the road. If you're up by 20 in the third quarter, you should have enough in the playoffs to finish that game out. But kudos to the Knicks. It's not just the Knicks, man. There was something going around the NBA last night, or the first game of these second rounds, because every road team won. Indiana went to Cleveland and won. New York went to Boston and won. Denver went to OKC and won. And now we'll see tonight if the Golden State Warriors and Chris Luther and them can do the same thing.
I can't do it anymore, Mike. I just can't. I was like, can we at least get one more day? Just one more day to recoup, re-energize. I did think the biggest loser of last night was rest. And that's another storyline going into the Warriors-Timberwolves game. But I was told all week that these rested teams were going to be so fresh, from the Oklahoma City Thunder to the Celtics. And you know who hates rest? Tom Thibodeau. He really hates it. And so I felt like last night was an extra win for him on top of the Knicks actually coming back down 20. You had Mikal Bridges play 51 minutes last night. I would like to retract a statement that I made a few weeks ago when we were discussing the Iron Men of the NBA, the players who played in every single game. And the Knicks put Mikal Bridges in a game for 30 seconds so that he could continue to claim Iron Man status. He has not missed a game in the entirety of his career. And I was like, you know what? Should you have to play a certain number of minutes in that game for it to qualify for Iron Man status? I take it all back. He played 51 last night. I'm like, you're good. If you're going to play 51 minutes in a game, I am never coming for your Iron Man status ever again.
No, I can't either. And as you were saying that, Jessica, I was thinking about how, certain in the NFL, you put a quarterback in to keep his Iron Man streak going, and, you play 1 or 2 snaps and then you pull him back out. So, the fact of the matter is, when you think about it, the Knicks gave up, the Knicks used 5 first-round picks to get him.
Yeah.
And when you look at that game last night, you say he was worth every single one of those picks because of what he was doing on offense and literally on defense. I mean, he literally stole the game at the end of the game when he stole the ball from Jaylen Brown right there at the end, man. And man, what that Knicks team had to be competitive in this series. I'm not saying they have to win it, but it has to be a 6 or 7 game series for them to justify everything that they did to bring that roster together. And now they're up, now they're up 1-0. So we'll see if they can continue that momentum there.
It really was the most surprising of the 3 between the Pacers win, the Nuggets win, and the Knicks win. Just from a standpoint of, it felt as if the Celtics could sweep the Knicks, and based on the regular season success against the Knicks, but this is the postseason. This isn't the regular season. I did just, outside of Mikal Bridges, who was great, OG Anunoby taking over that game in the third quarter. Jalen Brunson continues to show up in the big moments down the stretch. 29 points in the game, but 9 in the third, 11 in the fourth. Had a chance to end it in regulation. Just goes a little too hard off the glass. But then also Josh Hart. And this is becoming such an evergreen experience for me watching the NBA playoffs. I constantly watch Josh Hart and say, can't the Grizzlies just get a Josh Hart? That is the prototype of just someone who goes and gets every rebound and hustles for every play and is just popping up everywhere where you need him. It is such a testament to his style of play, where he is one of the guys that stands out. By no means is he the name of last night's Knicks win, and yet his fingerprints are all over it.
Yeah. I started, I looked at him last night, man. I looked at that game and I was like, that his nickname should be EP, right? Extra possessions, because that's all he does is create extra possessions, whether it's an offensive rebound, whether it's diving on the floor for a 50-50 loose ball, whether it's taking a charge. He's doing everything he needs to be the glue guy for that team. And you can't, undervalue that. You're right, man. Every team that competes at a high level in the second round of the playoffs and beyond has to have a guy like that. And you're right. When you look around and you're like, man, what do the Grizzlies need and how can you? And that's how I watch the playoffs at this point now.
Yeah.
I'm consuming it from a Grizzlies lens, and I'm like, man, some nights I feel like, wow, this team is absolutely nowhere near the level of intensity, the level of defensive effort, consistency that you see. And then some nights you're like, hold up, if you drafted the top 6 players and the Grizzlies are involved, you're probably going to take 3 Grizzlies in the top 5, right? So they will have probably 3 of the top 5 in some of these ways. And I disagree with you. I will say I take exception to the Knicks beating Boston as the biggest surprise. To me, it was still Denver beating Oklahoma City. And the way that they did it, like, I mean, it was almost like a masterclass in how you execute at the end of a game. And it was perfection. And then to see the Oklahoma City crowd stunned like that, the thing I did was I turned over to my wife. I was like, man, why couldn't we do that? And then I just went on and went to sleep. Like literally passed out 2 seconds after that.
Yeah. I was telling you during the break, I couldn't fall asleep, and I think part of it was because I had a lot of chips and queso at Los Camales and maybe a margarita, and so I had some heartburn situation, but I was just laying there, and I would like start to drift, and then I would think about the game again, and it was the kind of game and just the end of game experience that just would like shoot me back out of my near sleep. Like, did I just watch that? Like, I was Aaron Gordon, stunned at the end, at a loss for words at the end of that game. And so, yes, there was absolutely a surprise quality to it. I think there was a bit of a sweetness factor if you're a Grizzlies fan watching it. It's never sweet because you're sitting at home watching and no longer in the playoffs. But to watch the Thunder, who swept you, who beat you by 51 points, who you gave up a 29-point lead against, to watch them lose in that fashion, there is like a feel-good, yeah, like you deserved that moment in the postseason. Now, I will say, immediately, some of the narrative becomes, well, the Thunder didn't have a real series in the first round against the Grizzlies. And I'm like, hey, now, I saw it with my eyes. It was real. It physically happened. Like, if we want to get into the debate of the levels of this, sure. But, like, I watched a 1-seeded Thunder take on the 8-seeded Memphis Grizzlies, and that was an actual playoff matchup. Now, just the vast difference, and I'm with you, Mike, like watching even the other first-round matchups that transpired, it just, again, put a spotlight on this Grizzlies team has fallen away, right? And they have to figure out a way to climb back into Western Conference contention. And one step that they made last week was the official hiring of Tuomas Iisalo, who got the interim tag removed and is now the head coach of the Memphis Grizzlies. I'm not going to ask if you were surprised, because I don't think anyone was particularly like stunned by this news, but timing wise and just how this all fits into the Grizzlies off-season calendar, what did you make of it all?
Yeah, to me, it was one of those situations where this was, as it played out, this was always going to be the hire, right? Like, I mean, I don't think, there's any shame in going about it, doing it that way. You're just admitting that, hey, this was going to be our guy the whole way through. You didn't open it up for a public coaching search. You didn't necessarily lay out exactly what you saw in Iisalo that made you say, hey, this is the reason why he deserves this job. You didn't lay out anything in terms of what his philosophy is going to be moving forward, what kind of steps he's going to take after that. Hell, you didn't even have a press conference yet to announce officially that he's your guy. You didn't give him a chance to go in front of the media and lay out who he is and what his story is from that standpoint. And again, that doesn't. It says it's business as usual. It's kind of underwhelming, to be honest about it. I wish there was a little bit more, openness to what went on and why this decision was made the way it was made. But having said that, it's made. He's going to be the coach of the Memphis Grizzlies moving forward. And does this elicit a lot of excitement? And hey, wow, we can hang our hats on this. And this is what I saw over the last month. No, not really. You just have to trust again. And we're back in the situation as a fan base and as an organization where we're asking the fan base and the National Basketball Association to just trust that this is the right move. And we'll see. It's still going to put the onus. It keeps the onus right now on the players to actually step up and step through, especially if you're going to end up continuing to pay this kind of premium for these guys as your leaders. And we'll see if Iisalo can be the voice that changes things up a little bit.
Yeah, by no means was it just a coaching issue that led to the Grizzlies falling off through the latter half of the season, even the decision to move on from Taylor Jenkins. Like, it has struck me the difference between the Grizzlies and the Nuggets. The Nuggets also have an interim coach right now in David Adelman. And I'm not trying to conflate the two in a sense of like, well, if David Adelman was the interim coach for the Grizzlies during this stretch, the Grizzlies could have found more success. That's not what I'm saying. What I've been saying with this is, it is a testament to the Nuggets being in a more secure spot from their roster, from their experience, from their IQ, from how it all gels together than what the Grizzlies were. So you look at the trajectory after both of those decisions are made, and the Grizzlies continue on a downward slope. And the Nuggets found a way to fight into their seeding in the West to get out of the first round of the playoffs and now to get an upset win in game 1 against the Thunder.
So much of that is on the best player on that roster.
Also that.
Right. And it's not just from a production standpoint or availability standpoint. We joke about, okay, they fired their coach, but Coach Jokic is here. Yeah. Jokic is standing up in huddles like, no, this is how we play. Coaches, NBA coaches, for whatever reason, all of them do this. They call the timeout, and they just make a beeline for the free throw area, right? And they just stand in the paint and let the players catch their breath and do whatever it is that they need to do. Everybody is gathered around Jokic as he's telling them, hey, this is how we play. This is what we need to do. Many times down that court, Jokic is, hey, you go over here and set the down screen so we can get into the action. I stand right here, get the handoff to Murray, and then boom, Murray and I are in the 2-man. You're in the wrong spot. I need you to get over here, right? Yeah. There's a level of not just talent and IQ, but assertiveness and respect that Jokic has on that team that lends itself to them responding when he tells them what needs to be done and leads to them performing in the way that they do, which the Grizzlies have told me that they have in one of those 3 dudes. And I have yet to see that manifest itself. And if you're going to continue to build around them, fine. They've got to get more of that in them, more assertive, more respect, more of an understanding, and more of a willingness to lead loudly, not quietly, loudly, if the Grizzlies are going to have the success that they need to have.
Well, that's a good point. You make some good points, CJ, and I think it's tough. It's tough, when you're comparing the Nuggets to the Grizzlies anyway, but you're absolutely right. I mean, the Nuggets have an MVP, a 3-time MVP, a certified grown-ass man in the middle of the huddle saying, this is what I've done, this is what we need to do, and I've gotten us here before, and ride my coattails. I'm not going to sit here and play mind games with the media. I'm not going to sit here and pout. I'm not going to sit here and do all of these other things. I'm not worried about, how I look coming into the arena or I'm not worried about any of that. This is about basketball right now. And the fact of the matter is Jokic got up in the middle of that huddle, got his point across, and just threw some lobs and some punches at DeAndre Jordan, who was just an innocent standby guy, right? He threw some strays just because he had to be the example made of in that situation. And then what do? You come back and you win. So when you walk out of that arena last night after doing all of that, because if it goes wrong and you lose that game by 20, then it becomes Jokic is losing it. Like he's just not, but the fact that you do that and you win and you walk off and you say, we can win this series, that says a lot. But that's a championship team. And it's not just only on the players. What did they do when they dismissed Malone? They dismissed Malone, they dismissed the GM, and then the owner came out and gave you directly why he did it. He had a series of media interviews or whatever and explained to their public and everybody else around what was going on and what the direction was and how this was going to be costly. He said it. This might derail our season this season, but we still believe we have enough to go out here and compete. And when you have that, all I'm saying is that that's just a textbook example of direction and leadership and direction and a championship organization that's done it before and has a chance to do it again. And you go up against that same team and look at what happens in game 1. Yeah. Like it's almost they didn't have that much more rest than the Grizzlies had when they went into OKC in game 1, right?
So truly, I mean, they played 7 games. Like they played 7-game series.
Now that 7th game was at home, and then the Grizzlies play-in win was at home too, and then they turned around and they start. So that's not fair. I mean, they did have a 7-hour head start on it, but at the end of the day, it's hard to compare those two.
Yeah, it's hard to compare, but naturally the brain goes there. And even on the Jokic, your point on Jokic as a leader, like if there's anything I've learned about Nikola Jokic, it's not like he wants more work, but he just accepts what is the challenge, not even the challenge, just the necessity. He accepts the necessity of it. Like, this team needs this from me. I want to win. If we're going to win, this is what I have to do.
Winning is very important.
Yes.
And it is the main thing with this Nuggets team right now.
And it's a Nuggets team. It's a Nuggets team that when you think about it, because people talk about how close are the Grizzlies, right? The fact of the matter is only 2 games have separated all of these teams. Only 2 games, right? So let's just say if you go back and you look at the Grizzlies schedule, if you don't let San Antonio make that shot at the end and you beat Atlanta and you split with the Nets, right? That's 3 more wins you have. You're at the number 3 seed at that point, right? So it's like you're not that far on paper because everybody plays the same schedule for the most part. Nobody's schedule at the end of 82 is any tougher than anyone else's schedule. It's just you play everybody, right, for the most part. And so theoretically, you are closer than what it feels like. But when you see execution and in this moment of the playoffs, you know that there's a lot of things that have to be addressed if you're going to get back to that level or get to that level.
I've heard people say that the Grizzlies are close. And my question is, okay, great. They get the 3 seed and they take on who that you feel confident that they beat in the 7-game series. So if it's nobody, they're not close. I don't understand why. I don't want to conflate the two, the record versus in a playoff matchup. How close are you really? You're the 3 seed against the 6 seed Timberwolves or the 6 seed Warriors or the 6 seed Nuggets or the 6 seed Rockets or the 6 seed Lakers. Great, you got home court advantage. Are you confident that the Grizzlies win that 7-game series? How many of those teams are you confident that the Grizzlies beat in a 7-game series?
How many of those teams are you confident that the Grizzlies win more than one game against? Were there any, Mike, for you?
Ooh. Yeah, I think I think, and see, as much as I want to say Minnesota, as much as I want to say the Lakers, the fact of the matter is you had a chance to beat both of those teams in your home building, towards the end of the season, and you didn't, right? As a matter of fact, to me, that Minnesota game at home was the most important game of your season because you had a chance to avoid the fate that you ended up sliding into against Oklahoma City by beating Minnesota before you had to go to Denver, right? And they didn't look good at all in that Minnesota game. So you're right, it's tough. But if you're going to say that, though, CJ, if you're going to say that part of it, then you almost have to follow that up by saying, I'm out on this iteration of the Grizzlies then. Because there's nothing else that can be done to get them closer if it doesn't start with tinkering with the core 3, right? Like they don't just magically snap their fingers and say, all right, I'm better next year than I am this year. These are the guys that you're building around. These are the guys that you're waiting on. And if you're not close, if you're admitting that you're not close, and those 3 guys, for the most part, finish the season as healthy as they've been in 7 years together. I mean, I know Ja had the issue towards the end at the end of that game or whatever, but I mean, still, relatively speaking, he was a factor in the playoffs and coming down the stretch. If that's not enough, then you're really saying, okay, well, if we're not close, then we need to reset what's going on around here.
Well, Mike, don't put words into my mouth. Don't say that I'm the one feeling that way.
I'm just saying, but if it's not enough, where do you fix it though? If that's not enough to get enough, how does it become enough?
That's a real good question. That Mike, I don't want to say that out loud. I don't want to say that right now. I'm just pointing some things out, Mike. I'm just placing the dots. You're the one drawing the picture, Mike. So please don't make me out to be the one drawing the picture.
Hey, when is All NBA announced, Mike? Because that really feels like the next.
Yeah, second week of we're in the second. So it's usually right around May 20th. Right around May 20th is usually when it falls on the calendar, somewhere around there. The All Rookie team first, and then All NBA team. Those come out sort of in succession during the same week. At least it did the last year or so. So that we got to May 20th before those started rolling out.
All right, so that's really the next point on the Grizzlies off-season calendar, because if Jaren Jackson Jr. makes All-NBA or does not make All-NBA, not dictates, but has an impact on what they could do contractually with Jaren. Just as you try to approach this Grizzlies off-season, like what's your next chunk? So like coaching gets taken care of. Next up, outside of something that's out of control, which is what Jaren has been selected in terms of All NBA. What's that next? Okay, this is what we have to evaluate.
You really have to look at, because there's a trade season window that opens up. Even after your season is over with. So there's ways where you can maneuver. Do you want to pick up an asset? Do you want to move into the draft? Because right now the draft combine is about to go on, right? And then you have the draft lottery, and then you have all of those things. The Grizzlies do not have a first-round pick. They have 2 second-round picks at this point. Are you trying to cash that in? What kind of maneuvers are you going to make to teams that are willing or looking at trading up to get, higher in this draft? Can you do anything from that standpoint? So that's the next benchmark that you check if you're the Grizzlies to see. I'm talking about from a front office standpoint. How am I going to factor into this upcoming draft and draft lottery process if that's a route that we need to go? Secondly, after that is, what are you going to have? What kind of offers you're going to send? Are you going to make the decision to extend Santi Aldama a qualifying offer, which gives you the opportunity to make him a restricted free agent and match any deal that he gets outside of Memphis? I think that's probably the way to go, because you at least protect your ability to control the market when it comes to Santi in a certain way. And then after that, you got to figure out, okay, well, if Jaren does not get all NBA, how much do we want to commit to restructuring his contract that impacts next season versus playing it out and going into the following summer and seeing where we are right there from that standpoint. So the fact of the matter is that you stay consistent with Iisalo. That means that continuity is the route that you want to go. I don't think you keep Iisalo and blow it completely up, even though that's probably more of what he's aligned to do. But I think you keep him because you got good vibes back from how Edie responded, how Scottie Pippen and Ja Morant and those guys played at the end of the season. So then you're going to roll with what you have right there. So I think moving forward, this team the direction will be Ja Morant, Zach Edey, and then after that, you see how the numbers play out with Jaren Jackson Jr. and then Desmond Bane, and you make that a priority depending on what you need to do moving forward.
Before we let you go, Mike, you've been around the sport for a while, and I wanted to get your take on Gregg Popovich, who announced his retirement from coaching last week, and yesterday had his press conference where he is now El Jefe, aka the boss, and his first public appearance since November. What was it like for you seeing Gregg Popovich in the way that he was yesterday, and just the importance of him staying connected to the Spurs organization through this new role?
You know, Tommy Tuberville once told Ole Miss and the fans of Ole Miss that the only way I'm going out of here, out of Oxford, is in a pine box. And then he did the Auburn job, right? So
great congressman also.
You don't think you don't think coaches stay around in one place forever for a long time, but this is an exception. And I'll share more of this on Grizz on Wednesday, but I was an intern at the San Antonio Express News when the news broke that the San Antonio Spurs had a coaching announcement, and Bob Hill was stepping aside for Gregg Popovich to take over as head coach when he started his head coaching career. So when you say I've been around a long time, that's the line right there where I'm like, dang, man, I was in San Antonio covering the story when Gregg Popovich took over in San Antonio to be the head coach. Years and years and years, 29 years ago, right? And so I've been able to see sort of how he went about starting his career there. He lucked up. He inherited. He got obviously David Robinson and then Tim Duncan and all of these championships. And what he's meant to the sport has been tremendous, man. The stories that you hear about Gregg Popovich in terms of private conversations and what he does for players, both his home players and opposing players, just the wisdom that he imparts on them, the time he spends with them. The relationship he builds with them, it's second to none. It's second to none. It really is. So I've just been fortunate enough to say that I saw that at the very beginning when he took over. And I was also in Miami when Eric Spoelstra was elevated and Pat Riley stepped aside. You know what I mean? So it's like I've seen there's two of the greatest coaches in our modern game in terms of accomplishment and what they've done from the very beginning. So, I kind of know what good coaching is. I've been around it. I see how they establish themselves, and I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes. In the next set of great coaches that are coming through this league. And just to bring it back to Iisalo, he could be in that line. Like nobody knew who he was. And definitely Eric Spoelstra was being pulled from the video room, right? When he took. So in both cases, people were like, man, why did they go there instead of and promote from within instead of going out and making a coaching search? And then look at who they became. So that ties it all back in together, but huge shoes to fill. And Gregg Popovich certainly left a legacy or leaves a legacy.
So now I'm finna connect some Mike Wallace dots. Sounds like he's saying Coach T.I.'s the next Gregg Popovich. Here we go. 5 championships, Grizzlies. Woo! There it is.
I will say just one more thing, because you were an intern. When did you realize that Gregg Popovich was going to test you as a journalist? That is one of the most difficult people to ask some of your first questions of in this industry. I will never forget the overwhelming fear of asking Gregg Popovich a question when it was that Grizzlies Spurs series, my first year here in Memphis. And I had to talk myself up to it all day. I wrote it down. I knew what I wanted to say. And even when it comes, like I delivered it like an absolute idiot because I was just so overwhelmed. But I just did not want Gregg Popovich to hit me with well, that's a dumb question.
You know what's funny about that, Jessica, is that, if I remember correctly, he didn't get like that until after he won championships.
Okay.
Remember Greg being like that early on. He was always a really, really, cerebral coach. Like I remember one time, and I'll tell this quick story quickly. Like when Pat Riley retired, and we talked about, I was covering Miami when Pat Riley stepped away. Eric Spoelstra came in, and I was doing a big feature at that time for the Miami Herald on Pat Riley, right? And matter of fact, it was about how Pat Riley went about getting the big three and how he recruited LeBron James and all those kind of things. And I remember being in San Antonio and going into Gregg Popovich's office. So this was after he won championships. And it was a one-on-one interview. And he talked about, how the first thing he did when everybody was ripping Pat Riley or saying it was collusion and all these things, he said, I sent Pat one of the best wines that I've ever had, one out of my collection. I sent him a bottle of wine and I said, hey, this is what the old folks do now. And, and so I was like, I left the office, and as I was leaving the interview, I was like, Pop, like, this isn't the you that TV gets. Yeah. And he said, I hate those effing sideline interviews. That's why I do what I do. Because he's like, hey, who else, what other job do you have where somebody can disturb you in the midst of your biggest, most intense moment to ask you, hey, what do you feel about this, second quarter? And like, that's not normal. So he said his quote was, that was my FU to the league because that's why I do those things like that.
I love that and don't disagree. Mike,
like, okay, yeah.
Thank you as always for joining us. We'll catch up with you next week.
All right, cool. Y'all take care.
That was Mike Wallace. You can read his latest up at grindcitymedia.com. We'll take a break. When we come back, the Met Gala was last night. You say, Met Gala? This is a sports show. Those two things are more combined than they ever have been. I will explain when we come back, and we will also play my favorite game of the year. Can CJ identify any of these celebrities? He doesn't know who will be popping up. I played it with my husband before I left. He was my trial. He did better than I expected. We'll see how CJ does when we come back.
Overwhelming demand, the Summer of 99 Tour returns. July 27th, FedEx Forum. With special guests 3 doors down. And Mammoth WVH. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Creed returns, the Summer of 99 Tour.
Kroger shoppers and Grizz fans, want exclusive last-minute discounted ticket deals texted straight to you during the Grizzlies 2024-2025 season? Sign up with the new Kroger Buzzer Beater deal. Fans can sign up by texting Grizz to 636-479 or visit your local Kroger store in the Delta Division and scan the QR code. By signing up, you agree to receive recurring automated promotional and personalized marketing text messages from the Memphis Grizzlies. Consent is not a condition of any purchase. Message frequency varies. Message and data rates may apply.
I got some Cam Ward news for you, by the way.
Let me hear it.
You talk about being able to sell some jerseys. 7 minutes ago at his introductory press conference in Nashville, Warren Moon walks in. I give you permission to wear number 1. Young guy.
Wow.
He hands him the number 1 jersey.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm going to give you permission to wear number 1. So he's going to have the number 1 Cam Ward jersey.
That's amazing.
We're rocking the Cam Ward number 1 Titans jersey.
That's amazing.
The Chris Vernon Show, live on weekdays at noon on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
This week, we're going to run down the hits and the misses from WrestleMania 41.
The main event, NXT title on the line, Obafemi versus Trick Williams versus Javon Evans. One of the greatest triple threat matches I've ever seen in my life.
I'm shocked.
And it made history because it's the first time there's 3 black men highlighting the NXT pay-per-view.
Okay.
That was dope too.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
I thought Penny was smart to handle this the way he handled it. He expressed frustration with the system, the chaotic nature of it. The price hike on eggs ain't got nothing on the price hike on basketball players. The same dude who cost you $150,000 last summer is costing you $500,000 right now. I understand his sentiment, but he stopped well short of criticizing PJ Haggerty.
The Gary Parrish Show, live on weekdays at 10 a.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Grizz Nation gets set for tip-off 1 hour before every Grizzlies home game with the warm-up show. Get the latest news, notes, and analysis live from courtside at FedEx Forum.
Who's going to be the tougher team that rebounds and prevents second chance opportunities?
Join me, Lang Whitaker, along with Michael Wallace, Jessica Benson, and other personalities from Grind City Media, Memphis, and around the NBA. 1 hour before every home game, live at Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
We're going to do our pick six favorite Outkast songs in honor of Outkast being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Elevators is the most creative.
Me and you.
Yes. Your mama and your cousin too.
And I can't. Every time I hear somebody say me and you, I
just go to the next one, right?
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Favorite game show. Can CJ name the Met Gala participants, attendees? Before we get into it, some notes. There was a big absence at last night's Met Gala. LeBron. LeBron was an honorary chair and he couldn't come because of his injury. He's committed. He's committed to making sure that people know just how injured he was in that series against the Minnesota Timberwolves. He said, unfortunately, because of my knee injury I sustained at the end of the season, I won't be able to attend the Met Gala in New York tonight, as so many people have been asking and congratulating me on. Hate to miss a historical event. My beautiful, powerful queen will be there holding the castle down, as she has always done. Prayer emoji, salute emoji, heart emoji, star, star, star. He's beginning to tweet a lot like somebody else.
Who?
All powerful people. It's like the Trump tweet. It's like the... I can't describe it. It's a aura to the tweet.
Do you think? I think a lot of people did ask. I don't think any of us asked or cared, but I think there was some.
He's a co-chair, so there is a legitimate question of, hey, LeBron.
I think some celebrities asked.
Put a boot on it. Put a brace on it.
Put a boot on it and go.
Put a knee brace on. Put a scooter on.
Make it part of rock the scooter on the carpet.
Scooter.
Okay.
Has there ever been a scooter on the Met Gala carpet? LeBron could have been first.
Okay.
We've seen him navigate the scooter before.
I bet
was disappointed.
Is the Met Gala boring?
Not for me.
I mean, if you were there in attendance.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not a rich person. I don't know what
How many galas have you gone to?
I've been to things called a gala, but not a that level of a gala. I like galas. You get good food.
Outside of
good dancing, good music.
Outside of like celebrity watching, like I'd be like, okay, I don't want to do this.
Whatever. The Met Gala was on last night. The girlies were excited about it. My husband was excited that I was out of the house, so he did not have to watch the live broadcast coverage. The 2025 Met Gala theme was super fine, tailoring black style. The dress code for the gala was tailored for you. That meant a lot of suits. The emphasis was on black designers, on black dandyism, which is at its core someone dedicated to dressing up and looking good no matter what. And there's a lot of historical impact. Listen, the Met Gala is weird. It's rich people doing rich people things. And I think coming out of the Blue Origin debacle, a lot of people are like, do we really need to continue to pay attention to these rich people things? There's a big disconnect. But what we are not going to do is the first time that the Met Gala features black designers cannot be the year that we boycott. Like the first time that there was this level of emphasis on it. Yeah. And at the end of the day, for people who don't understand what the Met Gala is, it is a benefit to raise money for the Costume Institute at the Metropolitan Museum of Modern Art. Or Metropolitan Museum of Art, excuse me. And in a time where we're erasing history, I think it's really important to have things solidified, documented for the test of time, and now this will be in there with all of the other years of the Met Gala. So there is an importance to it. I know people think it's just rich people wearing weird stuff, but there is an actual reason that they do it. That said, CJ will play a game called Can you guess what this person does and who this person is? Your options are singer, actor, athlete, model, or other. And you get 1 point for correct profession and 1 point for the actual person. Are you ready?
How many of them are there? Do you know
I
offhand?
think there's 28.
All right. Over under 20.
Under.
Under. I'm going to take the under
Okay.
also. Let's get it. Although I can't
First up.
gamble on myself, but let's go.
Okay.
That's Sydney Sweeney. She's an actress.
Wow, 2
Let's
points
go.
for you.
Let's go.
I didn't like
I know
how
them boobies anywhere.
I didn't like how my husband said the exact same
I know
thing.
them. Tremendous top titty. I
All
love
right,
it.
next.
Holy hell. That is that Justin Jefferson?
It is
Athlete?
Justin Jefferson.
Let's go, 4 of them.
What
Let's
a start.
Go. Woo!
Okay.
She's a singer. Dua Lipa.
0. That is Kendall Jenner, technically a
No
model.
way. That's not Dua Lipa.
And that's not Dua Lipa. Dua Lipa was there. That's not Dua Lipa. Okay.
I was confident in that one. Niecy Nash, actress?
That's Tiana Taylor, but you get 1 point for actress.
Although isn't she more of a singer than actress? I'll take it.
At
5.
this point, I think of her as an actress,
5.
but yes.
I'm at 5.
Either would work. Okay.
Next year when we do this, I need a score counter graphic.
I know. It was too late
Oh wait,
to get one of those
see,
made.
Jacob has
he
one.
got one.
Jacob
I don't
has
have to
one.
Look
There
at
we
Jacob.
go. There it is.
Okay.
That is Joe Burrow. He's an athlete.
Sure is.
Give it to me.
Sure
Let's
is
go,
Joe Burrow.
CJ. Let's go.
You're locked in.
Megan Thee Stallion, singer?
No, that's Angel Reese, CJ.
No
That is
way!
Angel Reese. That is
That
her
is
second
Angel
Met Gala. She was
Reese.
there last year as
What?
well. Yep.
Stunning.
Okay.
All right. Oh, do I have to get them both?
Yes.
Oh, F that. That is Simone Biles and her man.
That's all you need.
Simone Biles
You got
is
it
an
correctly.
athlete.
Simone Biles and husband. That is correct. Unfortunately, his outfit was better than her outfit. But
Was it?
I don't like her outfit.
Okay.
Next.
Why is Andre 3000, who's a
Hell yeah.
singer, toting a piano?
It's art. Don't ask questions.
How heavy is
He's
that
carrying
thing?
the world on his back.
How do you sit down?
All questions I don't have answers to. But that is Andre 3000, and he is a flutist these days.
Yeah.
Singer.
Oh, holy hell. That is Q Izzle, and she is a K-pop star, singer.
She is a K-pop star.
There we go.
She's also an actress. You could have gotten a point for both. She was on
Okay.
the most recent season of The White Lotus. That is
Okay.
Lisa. And this is the one who everybody is trying to figure out, is Rosa Parks on her panties? If you zoom in, and I don't want to know who zoomed in first to discover this, but it does appear that it is the framing and embroidery of sorts of Rosa Parks.
Ain't no way in hell.
It looks like Rosa Parks.
Ain't no way in hell. She got the great Rosa Parks on her draw.
I would hope not. Feels
No.
like a choice.
No, that's shameful.
You do get a point though.
That's shameful.
Next.
Colin Kaepernick,
Nice.
athlete,
And his wife.
and his wife. Okay, cool.
Next.
That's Bad Bunny. He's an entertainer.
And he's not touring in America next year.
No, he's doing a world tour and leaving out
No
America. That's great. I'm at 16.
You are.
It's one of them sisters.
Chris got this one, which shocked me. He goes, oh, she's hot.
Haley, Little Mermaid actress?
No, that's Zendaya.
That's Zendaya?
That's Zendaya, but you do get a point for actress.
Turn up. Let's go.
Okay. Oh, we already have Angel Reese.
I almost
put her
said
in there
Megan Thee
twice.
Stallion again. Oh, no.
Come on, you can do it.
Oh, no.
You can do it. Come on.
Oh, no.
You know this person.
I do. Oh, no. This is going to be bad when you tell me who
It really
this
is. The outfit is a clue. It's an homage to.
Wait, this isn't the actress from this isn't Cynthia Erivo, is it?
This is Venus Williams.
No,
This
it
is
is
Venus Williams in a tennis court outfit. And you just won your first tennis match last night. How dare you?
I called myself Venus after I
How
won
dare
also.
you?
Oh my gosh, this is the chick who sings "Been Around the World" and I can't find my baby.
CJ, that is WNBA champion Breanna Stewart.
That's
Stewie. Shout out to actually going for something. That is Stewie.
Shit, go ahead then, girl.
And a lot of white people failed in the outfit category, but she gave it her all. I appreciate it.
Oh gosh.
I at least guessed the profession on this one.
SGA pro basketball athlete?
Yeah, this is actually the SGA body double since he had a game to play last night. No, it's a model, Christian Lackman, one of my favorite male models at the moment.
All right.
Okay. Next.
Serving face.
This is the one I didn't understand how he got invited.
Is that Brandon Marshall? Athlete?
No, that's DeAndre Hopkins.
That's who it is. I knew it was a receiver. I knew that.
Giving more than I did not put him in this, at least he didn't just wear a simple suit. Saquon Barkley had the most boring outfit of the evening.
Hey, y'all are finna find out some stuff about Saquon.
Men have to wear more than a simple suit.
That's a little bit.
CJ.
She is little.
She is little.
That's a little bit. That's Sabrina Carpenter,
Okay,
singer. Yeah.
Nicely done. She looks like she's at a magic show. But I do like the color.
It's a nice color.
She's pregnant again.
That's Rihanna.
She's pregnant again.
She's a singer.
She sure is.
All right.
And she's always pregnant.
21.
We're never getting an album.
Let's go, CJ.
We're never getting an album.
Oh, holy hell. Oh my gosh. That is, what's the categories again?
Actor, musician, model, other, athlete.
That is TikTok sensation, $, cent sign, boom.
That is another WNBA champion, Jonquel Jones.
That's Jonquel?
That is JJ. That is Jonquel
Jones.
Jones.
You go ahead then too, girl. Mm-hmm. That is Jonquel.
It sure is.
Another WNBA champion, Sabrina Ionescu.
No, Sabrina's outfit was so boring I didn't even send it. This is Doechii.
That's Doechii, okay.
One of my favorite looks of the night, a little short moment from Louis Vuitton. Next up.
Tom Holland, actor?
You know what? I'm going to give you points. It's Tom Francis, musical theater actor currently starring in Sunset Boulevard.
Okay.
But it is a Tom. You were half the name. You were so close. You were so close.
Oh, that's Stephon Diggs, NFL player.
Well done.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That is model Beverly.
That is K-pop star Jennie.
I was close.
Blackpink.
That's a Blackpink chick.
Blackpink.
I love Blackpink. Oh, that's my girl, Janelle.
Had to include her just for you.
Monet.
Always commits. Next.
Singer. Let's get it. Is that Tracy Ellis Ross, actress?
Put some damn respect on 80-plus-year-old Diana Ross.
That's Tracy's mama.
Put respect on Diana Ross.
I didn't know
Tracy was
mama
also
was there
in something else.
All right.
Diana Ross. Stunning. Look at that train.
26.
You killed it.
26.
I could have made it more difficult.
Less than 50.
But it was good.
Well, less than 50.
But you did much better than I thought you would.
I did better than I thought I would.
I'm really proud. I really wanted to stump you with as many athletes as possible. I got you with the W players.
Because
all of them.
Women.
All of them.
Women can do.
They look so different when they dress up.
The difference in, because the makeup goes on and the hair gets done differently. Ah, goodness. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we got to take one more break. We'll come back.
If you had to pick more football players in there, I wouldn't have got them.
I'm trying to think if there were any more. Jalen Hurts and his wife were there.
I would have got that.
He had the cap on.
That's a beautiful man.
And he looks exactly like Jalen Hurts is supposed to look.
That's a beautiful man.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
He popped up. I was like, oh, welcome. Jaren Jackson Jr., not at the Met Gala. Had thought perhaps.
Was his knee injured? Did people ask him where he was going?
I think we should start the rumor that the only reason he wasn't there was because he was injured. It does show we don't have a lot of fashionistas in the basketball space right now. Because without Russell Westbrook and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander being able to go, I didn't see an NBA player there last night. D-Wade was there, former NBA player. He and Gabrielle Union are always there. But other than that, it's time to step up. Who's going to take the charge?
Jokic.
He wore like a t-shirt and khakis to the game last night. They were not khakis, but it looked like a very much like, I go to work. All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. TV Tuesday, when we return, what we are watching. I'm going to give you a show that I think everybody should be forced to watch, and it is the weirdest thing I will ever recommend on this here show. I'm willing to say it. We'll get into what we're watching when we come back.
Sonic Radio. Welcome back to Sonic RNDIO. That spells radio with me, the CIO. This just in, the new Sonic $1.99 menu lets you build a crave-worthy meal for just $1.99 an item. Whether that's a creamy shake, crispy tots, or a quarter-pound double cheeseburger. This just out. Ostriches. They're mean, not very cute, and in my opinion, way too big for a bird. Don't miss the Sonic Fun 99 menu. 5 items, always $1.99. Live free, eat Sonic.
Tax not included. See menu for details.
The other thing that came out this week that we were talking about innovation and Nike and all that, they dropped these $900 hyper boots that
900.
I mean, they're a recovery shoe apparently that you wear after sports, whatever.
Who's buying it? Because all the athletes that we see, they're going to get seated this. So who's going to actually pay $900 for this?
The Sneak Fest Show, live Tuesdays at 2 p.m. on Grind City Media on X, YouTube, and the official Grind City Media mobile app.
This week, we're going to run down the hits and the misses from WrestleMania 41.
The main event, NXT title on the line, Obafemi versus Trick Williams versus Javon Evans. One of the greatest triple threat matches I've ever seen in my life.
I'm shocked.
And it made history because it's the first time there's 3 black men highlighting a NXT pay-per-view.
Okay.
That was dope too.
Tune in to Grind City Wrestling weekly on the Grind City Media app and on the Grind City Media YouTube channel.
How about Mr. Irrelevant coming from the Memphis Tigers? Yeah, how about that? New England Patriots
Second time.
Memphis defensive back Kobe Minor with the 257th overall pick.
If you're the player getting drafted at that spot, it's almost better to go undrafted and pick a place as an undrafted free agent to sign with where you have a better chance
But
of
you get a lot of stuff. You get a parade. I think you go to Disneyland, I believe.
Mr. Irrelevant goes to Disney?
I think so.
The Odds Couple, live at 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
We talked a little bit about Jalen Wells. Jalen Wells, man, he finished 3rd in the balloting for NBA Rookie of the Year. He's going to be back. He's going to play in Summer League, and maybe he'll shoot some left-handed jumpers out there. Hey, Grizzlies fans, be sure to tune in to Grizby, where the panel and I break down all things Grizzlies and take a look at the rest of the NBA as well. The show is live every Wednesday, 2 p.m. on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app.
Welcome back. It is Tuesday. That means it is time for TV Tuesday. And my life has been absolutely consumed by the NBA playoffs, as it will continue to be tonight, tomorrow, every day for as long as we have this run where there is always at least one NBA game on our television screens. Tonight it is Warriors-Timberwolves and Pacers-Cavs Game 2. Warriors-Timberwolves Game 1. Who are your picks for tonight?
Give me Timberwolves and give me Cavs. It's Cavs tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, give me Cavs and Timberwolves.
Okay. I'll take those as well. Cavs even up the series.
Everybody's questionable. Garland questionable. Hunter questionable.
And Mobley
questionable.
What happened to Hunter and Mobley?
They got leveled is what happened. Hard fouls, man. Come down hard on the back on the tush. Mobley sprained the ankle, so Hunter came down
hard on the butt, yeah.
And Mobley tweaked an ankle. Which, hey, take some of that Advil that John Morant take. and get your ass out there and play.
It's my favorite Advil.
Let's go. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's go out there and play. I'll say that it's important for the Timberwolves to keep control of this thing as long as they can. Because the second they lose control, the Warriors, I feel like, will just overwhelm them. And I'm not just talking about in quarters and games. I'm talking about the series as well. The second the Warriors get up on this in this series, I think the Timberwolves will start panicking and pressing in a way that lends itself to the Warriors feasting on them.
They don't have nearly what the Rockets had to deploy at Steph. They still have the length. Like, I mean, I'm not here to disrespect the personnel on the Timberwolves with Jaden McDaniels, with Nickeil Alexander-Walker, with Naz Reid, with all those guys. But it's a different situation than what the Warriors had to just go through. That was such a physical matchup against the Rockets. And size-wise, what they were able to do with their jumbo lineups, that gave the Warriors bits of fits. I think the most important thing for the Warriors, because I have to come across it as happy spouse, happy house, and I'm a little nervous as we move forward, Draymond Green has to keep his cool, which is like asking, like, ice not to melt in the sun. Like, I think, could be so easily aggravated by Anthony Edwards. I do think there's a respect there between those two. There's not a respect with Rudy Gobert.
That's the one who will
But I don't see, Rudy's not he's not a pest. He just exists. He exists to be annoying in that sphere. Anthony Edwards is one of those guys who goes at a matchup and says, like, I'm going to get you to crack. And at this point, Draymond Green, I don't know what the odds are. I don't know if there are odds on him missing a game in this series. I could see it happening pretty easily.
What's his
He's
tech
at,
count?
that's high.
Okay.
I think 2 away.
Okay.
Because what is it, 7?
That part I don't know.
Yeah.
It resets from the regular season, right?
Yes, but it
okay.
carries over from the first round,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah.
And techs can be given retroactively too.
Yeah.
As history knows.
Listen, man, if it's if you're banking on Draymond playing with composure, you're getting a significantly lesser version of Draymond.
Right.
He has to go out there and play in that way. I'm not sure if you can rein that in enough to keep it from being all-consuming. Now, with that being said, I understand he does have to be out there on the court because he is the spark that makes that team go. He is the engine that makes that team go. It's great that Steph is out there knocking down threes, but that team loses a bit of toughness and willingness to fight when Draymond is not out there.
Yes.
And they need him out there for those reasons. And I would expect this series to be physical because that's all you can do to Steph Curry. Say, F it, hit him, hold him, grab him, tug him, pull him. Don't let him go.
I'm sorry, what is this, a bobbit?
Don't let him go anywhere without having a hand on him at some point in time. And so it's going to be physical. I know Steph will get frustrated. I know Jimmy will get frustrated. It's one thing for them to get frustrated. They usually do a pretty good job of not getting involved in the scuffles and stuff like that. It's Draymond, like you said.
Yeah.
He has to keep his composure. Draymond is the first one into a scuffle. And maybe for the first game or two, it'd be nice for Draymond to be like the second or third person in there. Right?
I'm just here to make sure everything's okay.
Just ain't one of you guys. The issue is who is going to be the first one in. Jimmy? Right? Like, so, like that's where it
falls
gets
apart.
tough.
He has 4 techs and 2 flagrant points. And you got a 1-game suspension after 7 techs, 4 flagrant points.
So he has 2 techs?
He has 4 techs.
Oh, he's good.
So you get 7 techs, but he has 2
good.
flagrant points. And you only get 4 flagrant points.
Yeah, don't get a flagrant. Don't.
I mean, yeah.
Just don't fondle anybody's nut sacks.
Don't karate chop
somebody in the throat, like on a layup. You're good to go.
This sounds like such easy advice, but it
He's
constantly
good.
is an issue.
Get a tech tonight to set the tone, and then fill out when you're going to get the other 2.
I am behind on a lot of shows because of the NBA playoffs. I have not watched this week's The Last of Us, especially with Music Fest, but I did get a text from our social media superstar, Luke, last night, asking me if I had watched, first asking me if I watched The Rehearsal, which is in its 2nd season on Max, and then asking me if I had watched the most recent episode, episode 3. I do watch The Rehearsal. I had not watched episode 3. The way he described the viewing experience of episode 3, we finished Knicks Celtics, took the beginning of Nuggets Thunder, and said, we're going to watch this 35-minute episode of television, and then we'll pop back into the rest of the Nuggets Thunder game. Greatest decision I could have made. It was one of the most absurd, incredible episodes of TV that I have ever watched, that I think I ever will watch. I audibly said, what the F, 5 times throughout the episode, and I really don't want to spoil it because I think it's important to go through it with a clean palette and not know like the twist that it takes.
What is this show?
The show is The Rehearsal, and it is a show by Nathan Fielder, who is a comedian, and I'll call him a performance artist because that feels like a more appropriate way to put it. But it's an indescribable show in a lot of ways. The best way that I can sum it up is basically difficult scenarios being rehearsed in controlled environments that then prepare people for the real thing. So like, let's say there was a difficult conversation in your life that you didn't know how to tell somebody something. He would like recreate your life. He would create the studio. It's about us. Like, we have to have a talk about something. He would make the Grind City Media studio. He would make the staircase that you would walk up at the day. Like, every single part of your day, he would make it a recreation so that you're going through it with an actor, and then by the time you're actually having that conversation with the actual person, you feel more rehearsed, hence the rehearsal. This season is all about plane crashes. Like, and that's just the thesis of the show is essentially, could plane crashes be stopped? Is the biggest reason why we have plane crashes due to the relationship between the pilot and the co-pilot, and the lack of communicative skills between the two, and the power imbalance between the two. And so he is researching all of these. Like, I would love to see how he presents a budget to Max and be like, hey, I want to recreate, I want a flight simulator so I can recreate all of these famous flight crashes. And then going forward and like bringing in actual pilots and he recreates the Houston airport early on. Like, again, this doesn't take anything away from the show. And even episode 3, the first 15 minutes of it are dedicated to something that in itself would be an absurd topic. And it doesn't spoil it to say, because it's by no means the point of the episode. Like, they start with this couple who cloned their dog, and they wanted their dog to still exist in their life. They clone their dog, but their new dog doesn't have the same character traits of their old dog. So they recreate the environment that they brought up their original dog in, and use actors to recreate the relationship to try to get this dog to have the same responses that it had to its original. One of which being, this dog would respond when the woman was having a diabetic attack and like essentially dying on the couch, and the dog would try to save her life. So they're just trying to do that over and over again. Then it flips into a whole other universe attached to the whole flight thing. Nobody should watch this show, and everybody should watch this show. It is the weirdest thing that I'll ever recommend, but the way that it defines or like shows just the weirdness of being a human and human interactions and communication and emotions and how that impacts, and how something that happened to you when you were a baby could one day lead to just an incredible event in your life. How evanescence could lead. Like, I could show you this picture and you'll be like, what the hell is this show about? And I would also say that.
The tweet, and I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Exactly. It's insane. Like, that is a baby. That is a man as a baby. That's Nathan Fielder as a baby. And now you have to watch episode 3 to understand why he is dressed as a baby with a giant crib behind him.
Okay. And I don't have to watch any of the other episodes?
You don't. No, you have to watch the whole show. You don't have to watch the first season.
I have to watch
You have to watch season 2 in its entirety.
In its entirety.
And because, like, this could make the history books someday. What if Nathan Fielder, season 2 of The Rehearsal, leads to sweeping changes in the aviation field and saves
How much money is
future
that gonna
plane
cost?
crashes? HBO Max seems to have the answer to it.
They have the money because they're going to make money off of this. All right, so you said 30 minutes?
30 minutes. They're fast.
All right.
It's insane.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll watch it.
Okay. Are you watching anything good right now?
We'll talk more about the Oklahoma City bombing documentary Thursday for Theater Thursday, because I do want to have that conversation. I finished The Trial of Karen Reed on HBO Max. So here's why I did it. Every time I go to my performance review meeting, they bring up the fact that the Karen Reed clip from the show gets all of these views still.
Okay.
Still gets all of these views. I was like, okay, I don't remember that clip. Jessica explained it to me, and it kind of went in one ear, out the other ear. Let me sit down and see what's going on with this thing. So let's watch the documentary about it. And holy hell, wow. I left that thing. I left that piece of media so very, very confused. And so frustratingly sad for the man who ended up dying. But he becomes just an ancillary thing. This is a true whodunit. And why are you Googling how long to die in the cold? And what does that signature mean? Is it, so I didn't know this. All I heard was, hey, she Googled how long to die in the cold at 2:27. It's like, oh no, she did it. They did it. And then it was not Karen Reed, but some other lady. But then it was, after talking to some specialists, they were saying, no. She Googled how long to die in the cold at 6:23, but it shows as 2:27 for some random reason, because when you Google it and take it down, it doesn't go away. They explain it to you way more scientifically than what I'm doing. Like, oh, that's why it really does become, do you believe her or not?
Yeah.
Because one side has experts who say one thing, the other side has experts who say the exact opposite. And it is just simply, do you believe her? Her tail light was broken. It was. There was a hair fragment on there. There was. Matching his DNA. Yep, she did it. Well, here's a video of her backing out of her driveway, hitting something. So that might be where the tail light was broken. You know what? It damn sure might be. Hey, if you're towing a car, how would a random piece of hair, only one piece of hair,
just one,
stay on the car the entire car ride? It's on the outside of the car. It's on the tail light. How would it do that? You know what? That's a good point also. It's like point, counterpoint, point, counterpoint, point, counterpoint. Yeah. And I just left it thinking, I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
See, you put it on the base of, do you believe her or not? I always looked at it as are you capable of believing that members of a Boston Police Department and their spouses could be capable of a massive conspiracy cover-up?
So they don't go into that way of thinking. It is really, truly,
because that's how I got sucked into it.
It is just her in this. Oh. It is just like, hey.
They're just trying to prove she didn't do it, not that the other.
I don't know if they're trying to prove that she didn't do it. They're just saying, hey, this is the story from her perspective. Now,
I love the other side of it.
I don't know what now I need another side. Like, hey.
There were deleted texts too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there was a deleted text, and then they explained that. Forget the explanation.
Now
and
that
then they
the
throw the
Innocence
SIM
Project
card
is telling
away.
me Scott Peterson might be innocent, I don't evaluate any true crime case with any level of certainty.
They throw the SIM card away,
Yes.
but throws the SIM card away because somebody was being like stalkerish.
Seems convenient.
And so, but like that's the thing. There's a point and a counterpoint every single time. Every single time. Meanwhile,
what was it on?
Max. Meanwhile, this is the part that annoyed me and irked me about it. Like, we don't need fangirls and fanboys showing up to these trials like that.
But it's always been that way. Like, even when you watch the Oklahoma City bombing documentary.
We'll talk about it more. That was a bit different.
They
weren't fanning out. They were like, yo, let him go. Like, just leave him out back so we can get at him.
But it becomes this obsession. Now it's like a national. At that point, it became a national obsession. We'll talk more about it on Thursday because I think that's an interesting piece of it. All right, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow on a Wednesday. We'll talk about all the NBA action from tonight. We'll take a look into some oops, we missed it again stories from the week we have not gotten to. I want to talk about Justin Tucker tomorrow. So we're going to do just that. He's no longer a kicker for the Baltimore Ravens. D'Angelo Williams will join us. We never know what we'll chat with him about. We'll find out. Have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
If he made more kicks, he would be.
Exactly. Yeah. It's real convenient that he sucked last year.